I'm Dita Von Teese, and you're watching Cinémoi.
Bonjour and welcome to Cinémoi. My name is Anouk and I will be taking you with me on this fashion journey called Haute Couture. To me, Paris is the capital of fashion and I can't wait to see the creations of the designers and of course the hair and makeup artists. The shows here are at the most beautiful historical venues, giving the best backdrops and even making the garments more special. So I will be running around Paris to make sure you don't miss a thing.
Hi, I'm Tony Ward, and you are watching Cinémoi.
It's the first day of the Paris Fashion Week Haute Couture and we're standing backstage at the Tony Ward show. Today was a very early start for the team because they started at 7 o'clock in the morning just to get the models ready at 12. We also got a chat with designer Tony Ward himself only a few minutes before the show. He didn't look nervous at all.
You haven't seen me this morning, but we're good. Everything is on track, under control.
Ward was in Paris to unveil his collection called Revive. The bridal couture line looked spectacular, and the designer had a very interesting source of inspiration.
This is a collection all about the mandala, the revival, and how inspired from the Tibetan priests, how they would work for months on a mandala, and then at the end of the day, when they finish it, they just throw it on the floor and lose all the painting. So this is a collection that tells me a lot about what I have been building for the last 30 years around my work. And I'm teaching myself to be ready to, not to be attached to my things, to be in love, but ready to throw everything away just for the joy of it.
Tony is quite popular among celebrities, and not just for his bridal creations. He designs for all occasions, and the stars seem to love it.
I loved working with Pink. I loved working with Lady Gaga. I loved working with Sharon Stone. I did beautiful events with her. I don't want to forget any names. I have a lot of the actual ones, but I think it's all about the dresses and the nice people they're wearing, the inside people that we meet, and you put something out that brings the inside out.
Of course, presenting a fashion show isn't something one does alone. Sure, Ward designed the gowns, but he got some help from hairstylist extraordinaire Beppe Delia to make sure the models looked perfect down to the last detail.
The clothes is just amazing. The hair, I think, is really beautiful. I make it a big wave like this. I put a little bit of greater length extension to make volume and texture inside. And I'm using Alpian from L'Oreal to make it a good texture, a little bit crunchy. And the last touch, this is the tattoo, hair tattoo, with the color, white color and gold color. It's a little bit, I think it's super interesting with the clothes.
And the models deserve a lot of credit too. All of them were important for the show, but there was one in particular who had an extra important job.
Hi, my name is Eleanor. I'm 20 years old and I'm walking today for Tony Ward. I'm the bride wearing the final look. It's such an honor. Also, for my mom, it was kind of funny because she was like, it's going to be funny to see my daughter as a bride at 20 years old. But yeah, I honestly feel honored that I got the final look. That's my second time closing a show, so yeah, I'll do my best.
At a prestigious event like Paris Fashion Week, high-profile people from around the world are drawn in by all the glamour. Superstars like Uma Thurman, Reese Witherspoon, and Pharrell Williams were sitting in the front row, but there were big names on the catwalk too, such as burlesque model Dita Von Teese, who opened the Alexi Mabilla show.
How was it to open the show today?
Oh, I mean, it was a special treat. It was sort of a last-minute thing that he asked me to do, and I was, of course, happy to oblige. He makes a lot of my costumes for my shows, and I have a big European tour coming up that starts in March and April and May, so he's made all these beautiful tuxedos for me to wear in the show, and so just, of course, I was happy to be here and see this show.
Thai model, actress, and host Araya Hargate was also in town to celebrate fashion. If there's one thing she just can't ever get enough of, it's couture. So she made sure to treat her more than 9 million Instagram followers to numerous posts of the various shows.
It's that time of the year that I come here and I get to visit and I get to express myself the way that because people don't dress like this every day, but Fashion Week is something special that for me it's like a very special occasion to just enjoy fashion,
Jordan Roth stopped by to enjoy the extravaganza. He's a Broadway big shot and a key figure in New York's LGBTQ community. Just one look at this flamboyant guy, and it should be clear that he simply loves fashion.
Fashion for me is really a way to express who I am and how I feel every day, both to you and to myself. I think fashion works inside out, but also outside in.
And then there's model and former Miss France Maiva Kuka, supporting not only couture, but also her homeland.
In France, it's very important for a woman to be class and elegant because all of the world, everybody can say, oh my God, the French guy or French girl are very class. So it's very important for me.
And last but not least, Mexican model, actress, and reality star Patricia Gloria Contreras hit the French capital as well to get a first look at all the new collections.
Fashion for me is like, today, honestly, it's like very competitive. It's not what it used to be. Like before, it was very easy to create fashion. But like now, I think that there has been so many things created that to create new concept of fashion, it can be quite tricky. So for me, fashion today is mixing the things you like, expressing your personality, and just being free.
Watch the show, it's gonna be fabulous.
I'm standing backstage with Marcelo Costa, and he's going to tell us all about the makeup looks of the shows here in Paris Fashion Week.
So thank you again. It's so fabulous to be back here with you guys at home. So essentially, we're exploiting the eyeliner this season. You're gonna see a lot of eyeliners, a lot of models with eyeliners, kind of matte skin as well. We are betting on having that thick, expressive eye this season. So you guys stay tuned. People are bringing that personality, that inner cat that every woman has. So stay tuned to see all these amazing cat eyes with this very thick eyebrows on. Did I say eyebrows? I meant eyeliner.
That friendly guy is none other than Marcelo Costa, makeup artist extraordinaire. It's no surprise that he's working at such a high-profile event as Couture Week, as he's really one of the best hair and makeup designers out there, and has worked for the biggest brands and with the world's greatest superstars. The Brazilian definitely knows his stuff and even has an eyeliner tip you can try at home.
The secret number one that I actually use on backstage, I always warm it up with a lighter. Wow. Yeah, because it makes more creamy and it kind of slides right off. So what you do, if you can't get that perfect eyeliner, use a little tape. And then you kind of push your eye. I can't do that myself, but essentially, kind of stretch your skin and then you draft it. Just start by overlaying on top of each other, which is great. Like you do the first one very thin and you keep like smoothing it out and kind of like bringing and layer on top of layer. And that's how you get that perfect eyeliner to stick. And you get the eyeliner that goes according to your skin and the most important, to your complexion.
Marcelo was in France to do the makeup for a stunning show by designer Farhad Ray.
The inspiration this time was the nature, because I realized in one moment I was in the car, in the radio. I said, oh my God, it's not possible. Now everyone and everywhere, we heard only about the smoke, the climate problems. I said something very, very actual. I thought, okay, there are reason because the nature is marvelous, and we are maybe to lose all of this. So we can do something. You will see in the show, like the butterfly, is something really not beautiful, but can the same animal change in something magnifique.
French designer Alexis Mabille was born in 1977 in Lyon. His mom was very into fashion. She taught him to make clothes at a really young age, and as a teen he was making clothes for his family and friends. Back in 2008 he showed for the first time at Paris Fashion Week Haute Couture, and today, 12 years later, he's showing his newest collection with the name Carte Blanche.
Carte Blanche, I decided to get for myself this thing this time, you know, to be free about the colors and about like some of things I used in the beginning. I wanted to work the collection a bit like when we do the proof, you know, the first toile in cotton, etc., but in the real material. I mean, a silk, a crepe, different material, lace, etc. To have this, you know, shades of sensation of materials. I mean, shiny, matte, satin with very like transparent material, and to get this crazy craftsmanship.
For Alexis' super elegant show, he had the makeup on the models done by Lloyd Simmons, who he's worked with multiple times before.
So it's very arched eyebrows, beautiful, long, exaggerated eyeliner in black, matte complexion, and then he wanted to have just a little touch of contemporary sort of fun. So instead of a perfect mouth with lipstick, it's a perfect mouth, but with glitter.
And one of those glittery mouths can be found on the face of Dita Von Teese, who, as we already saw earlier in the episode, kicked off this show.
I spoke to Lloyd Simmons, who did your makeup. What do you find of it?
I mean, in my opinion, he does the best cat eye that ever there was. I mean, I love when he has just such a great way of doing it, so I love working with Lloyd.
Hello, I'm Alexis Mabille. You are watching Cinémoi.
Runway shows of all sizes and kinds happen during this fashionable event, and naturally some are more impressive than others. If there's one that was absolutely mesmerizing, then it's got to be Chanel's. Legendary designer Karl Lagerfeld sadly passed away last year. The honor of taking over the role of artistic director of the French luxury brand was then passed on to Virginie Viard, making this one of her first catwalk presentations. And yes, she nailed it. For inspiration, Viard looked at the brand's founder, Coco Chanel's, upbringing at an orphanage which was located in an abbey. To mimic it, but with an extra dose of glamour, the show was held at the Grand Palais. Critics pretty much unanimously praised Chanel's show for the sobriety, lightness, and wearer-friendly ease that oozes throughout the collection.
He is called the enfant terrible of fashion, as he's been pushing the boundaries of style since the beginning of his career. Jean-Paul Gaultier is also well known because he designed Madonna's iconic cone bra and his non-conventional models strutting down his catwalks. His work often provokes and sometimes even shocks, but always contains a strong social message that celebrates diversity. Tonight he's not only celebrating his 50th anniversary in fashion, he also recently announced that tonight's show is going to be his very last Haute Couture show. And as you can see, it's very crowded in here and everybody wants to be a part of it. And I'm just so honored that we will be there too to let you enjoy it as well.
That's right, iconic designer Jean-Paul Gaultier is retiring from the catwalk. So he called on a number of his celebrity friends to strut their stuff in his final couture collection. Leading the pack was Bella Hadid, who rocked the event in 2 looks, and her sister Gigi joined her, sporting a pair of outfits as well, and recalling online that it was Jean-Paul who was the first designer to welcome her onto a Paris runway. Supermodel Irina Shayk also came out to support the fashion icon's grand finale in a truly signature Gaultier ensemble, including a corset featuring one of his famous cone-shaped bras and a cape made from a tuxedo jacket. Blonde beauty Carly Kloss was on hand to say goodbye as well, and shared on Instagram that Jean-Paul's creativity and vision have never ceased to amaze her, and that it has been a privilege for her to bring his irreverent creations to life. Other bold-faced names on the catwalk included Paris Jackson, making her runway debut to celebrate the designer. Coco Rocha, who showed off her dancing skills. And Boy George. Gaultier has yet to reveal his post-retirement plans or to name a successor at his legendary fashion house. Behind all this glitz and glamour, however, the fashion industry is currently caught in a time of transition, as brands both big and small struggle with how to bring their creations to a now global market without destroying the planet along the way. One designer out at the forefront of this movement is Holland's Ronald van der Kemp.
And you are very into sustainability, eco-friendly. Do you think everybody should do that, all the designers? Or?
Well, yeah, of course. I think first of all we need to make less clothes, and what we make we should do with love and attention. So I think we should stop overproducing all these collections.
Ronald is known for repurposing old materials in his designs, but for this year's collection, he tried out a new partnership.
Was there a particular piece that's really special to you? Like you made this with a specific...
Yeah, we did, for example, the coat that looked like a fur coat, which we made with small Moroccan villages where the women, they don't really work, but now they have something to do, a job, and they earn some money for their communities by using their old technique. And you can send them old clothes and they make carpets out of it. So I decided to send scraps of our old fabrics and make a fur coat out of it.
Hello, I'm Rahul Mishra and you're watching Cinémoi.
The intricate pieces created by Rahul Mishra, meanwhile, are all handmade, which is also a deliberate choice for our future.
I really feel like what I do is I try to do everything in hand so that it doesn't leave any carbon footprint behind. Second thing is one has to understand what sustainability is. Why we are facing a problem here right now, because we are consuming and producing things way too fast. So it's just about slowing down the production.
In fact, Rahul had an interesting suggestion when we asked him what he would recommend as the ultimate fashion must-have.
Ultimate must-have is like you should re-look at your old wardrobe, reuse them, rewear them as much as possible. Do not follow trends. Trends are really dangerous for the world. They make you consume more and more, which is not the best thing, what a planet needs.
And we also met with French designer Julien Fournier, who likes to send a message on the runway through the girl power in his diverse crew of models.
In fact, when people think about fashion, they think about beautiful models, but whatever, it's also women, and I want to show that my models are completely free on the catwalk.
Chinese designer Guo Pei decided to take us on a trip to the snowy Himalayas with her Spring-Summer 2020 collection, and brought in makeup artist Dominic Skinner to create a complementary look.
Hi, I'm Dominic. We're backstage at Guelpé for Cinémoi.
What was your first reaction when you heard about this concept?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, to take it in a different direction, I'm a complete Disney fan, so Frozen, Let It Go, Snow, everything. It was so beautiful. But Guelpé just has such a magic about it. The designs are they're just so beautiful. They're works of art, and there's something very magical about Guelpé. It's so delicate, it's so refined and so detailed and so delicate that to be asked to then do the makeup for it is incredible. It's so exciting.
Skinner needed the models to look as if they'd been spending time out in the elements, but in a glamorous and couture way.
So what we've done is we've groomed the brows to kind of get them in a really good place. Then we combed through some lash glue, just very delicately on the lashes. And then we pressed onto the brows and the lashes bits of fake snow to just create this impression that they've gone out and they've just been drizzled by snow, and it's so cold that it stays there. You know when it's so cold that you get snow on your shoulders and it doesn't melt? That's what we wanted to kind of create, this impression of sort of being in a snowdrift, but again, done in a very princess way.
As we near the end of our Cinémoi trip to Paris Couture Week, we wanted to point out a few trends that became evident this year.
Well, actually this year, I think the trend is come to more like natural. Like it's very trendy now to be more natural. The palette and everything is kind of like neutral. And that's why I'm dressing all neutral today.
Yes, softer, more pastel colors were very popular. We already saw them in Tony Ward's show, but they also popped up in the romantic Mediterranean-style designs of Georges Hobeika. They were there as well in the dreamy, ethereal dresses of British brand Ralph & Russo. Plus, the label used their runway show to make a plea for donations to help battle the Australian wildfires. And there were a few pastels on the Alexandre Vautier catwalk, but they were interspersed with more exciting frocks and even a number of menswear-inspired suits.
I love to wear women's suit because it gives a power. It empowers women, I think.
Sparkles and sequins were also seemingly everywhere. Witness the shows of celebrity favorites like Elie Saab or Nicolas Gebran, who was in town for only his second time presenting at Couture Week with a lineup of very shiny outfits.
For me, Paris is the city of fashion, and being here for my brand, for myself, for what I'm doing, for my identity in fashion, that it gives me more power. I can believe more in what I'm doing as a designer.
And our third trend was the prominence of tulle and chiffon. Closing out the runway show of Lebanese designer Ziad Nakad was rising young model Adelina Siniak. And the final model, of course, gets to wear the designer's newest bridal look.
Well, it's like not first time I'm a bride, so I feel honored every time. Well, it's like a fairy tale, and you feel like this is the really masterpiece of the show.
Do you sometimes have struggles walking, like with big dresses, or anything happened on the catwalk?
Nothing happens, of course. It's a little bit difficult because it's heavy, but anyway, it always looks amazing.
Actually, during this performance, there was a bit of an issue, but Adelina recovered beautifully, and we foresee a bright future for this rising star, thanks to her handling of moments like that.
Breathtaking gowns to the most striking settings, I loved every second of Paris Haute Couture. Ronald van der Kemp's sustainable designs proved us that materials that seem to be useless today can create beautiful tomorrows. And Jean-Paul Gaultier definitely went out with a bang with his last masterpiece, showing over 200 looks and gave me a show that I will remember forever. Thank you for watching Cinémoi and see you next time!